Well, I will make this short presentation, maybe 12 minutes or so, because it's more important the questions. I can also understand, io posso parlare un po' in italiano anche se è necessario, ma non la presentazione perché non parlo bene, ma le domande posso farle in italiano e io rispondo, se le piace così. I am very, very, very happy to be here in Gorizia presenting the Slovenian edition of the Sao Paulo Forum Cultural Warfare. Very happy. This is the 5th language that this book is written, or published, I would say. It was written in Spanish, my original language, then translated into English, Portuguese, Italian, it's available at Amazon in Italian, and now Slovenian. I want to thank very much Mr. Janez Chansa for writing the presentation, for making this possible. I also want to thank the editor of the book, Mr. Boris Tomasik, who is at the end of the room. Thank you very much, Boris. And Andreas for moderating this presentation. I come from a very far away country, Venezuela, north of South America. And I will speak about the Sao Paulo Forum, and you will say, what do we have to do with the Sao Paulo Forum? We are in Gorizia, in Slovenia. Sao Paulo Forum is in Latin America. No relation at all. No, sir. There is a relation. 32 years ago, while your continent was liberating from communism, the Berlin Wall fell down, the Soviet Union disintegrated. One question, are you listening okay? Is everything okay? May I continue? Yes. While that was happening here, in our continent, we were full of progress, development, democracy. But after the Soviet Union stopped helping Cuba because it disintegrated, an organization was created in Latin America. Who created it? Fidel Castro, the communist Cuban dictator, and the actual elect president of Brazil, Lula da Silva. They created Fidel Castro and Lula da Silva, the Sao Paulo Forum. What is the Sao Paulo Forum? An organization that unites all Marxists in Latin America, all communists in Latin America. And they help each other to grow, and they became a point, many people don't know this, but there are 12 presidents today of Latin America, 12 presidents. Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, 12 presidents belonging to the Sao Paulo Forum, a communist organization. So you were liberating from communism, and we in Latin America were beginning to experience the communist domination. Due to this domination, our continent is being destroyed. My country has 30 million people. And because of these communist economic programs, 7 million Venezuelans had to flee out of my country. 25% of the Venezuelan population went away of Venezuela because of this kind of crisis. It's the same struggle that you had here 40 years ago. What they're trying to make in South America is a southern Soviet Union, a Soviet Union of the South. And what relation does that have to Slovenia? Very simple. They have two additional tools. One, limited amount of money that comes from drug trafficking. Drug cartels are allied to the Sao Paulo Forum. The Sao Paulo Forum is very much related to drug trafficking, which means huge amounts of money to finance whatever they want. They are financing, the Sao Paulo Forum is financing the expansion to Europe. For example, I will put an example. Have you heard of a Spanish political party, very important party, by the name of Podemos? Have you ever heard of it? Podemos is an important Spanish political party. It was absolutely, totally financed by Venezuelan money. So they are expanding to Europe. You Slovenians are in danger of having politicians being communist politicians here in Slovenia, financed by the Sao Paulo Forum, in order to return Slovenia to the communist empire. That's what they want to do. And we have to work together to avoid this to happen. The second tool they're using, this is a new tool they didn't have before, is the destructions of the values of Western civilizations. If you see that there are attacks on the family, attacks on religion, attacks on the Western culture, that is no coincidence. No coincidence. This is a plan, an organized plan, because communism and Western civilization, communism and Christianity cannot grow together. It's either one or the other. So, based on the ideas of Italian Antonio Gramsci and the ideas of Hungarian George Lukács, communists decided to go against the family, to go against religion, and to go against Western culture in order to make communism be able to grow, to success. This new kind of struggle is no longer poor against rich. No, this is part of the past. Now it's white against black, it's heterosexuals against homosexuals, it's illegal migration against nationalities, all new sorts of struggle promoted by Marxism. Marxism wants to disrupt society and to demolish Christian values. This is all written in the book. It's a very simple book. It has 20 chapters. As you can see, it's not a long book. It's easy to read. It's written in a very simple words, but I believe it's an initiation, a manual. You start to read this book and then you might study, investigate more about it, but it's important for European and for Slovenians to understand how the Marxist cultural warfare functions. It's important to know this. And it's important to have the relation between the Latin American Sao Paulo Forum and the expansion to Europe. I decided to write about this because in my country, I'm a politician. I was a presidential candidate in my country when Hugo Chavez, have you heard of Hugo Chavez? Hugo Chavez, the Venezuelan dictator? When he won the election, then became a dictator, I decided that it was not enough the political struggle, no. Not enough the economic, no. The cultural struggle is the most important of all. Economic growth is not enough. You have to defend the values of the family, of religion, of our culture, in order to defeat communism. Not enough economy. Economy, it's okay, but it's not enough. For that reason, I wrote this book. I've written 4 books on the Sao Paulo Forum. The fight against the Sao Paulo Forum has put me in trouble. I've been 1 year in jail. 10 years persecuted without a trial. And I must say that also my family has suffered. Today, I'm here with my daughter, who is a journalist, like many journalists that are here. My daughter, who is sitting there, Cecilia. In one of this manifestation of this protest against the Venezuelan regime, a National Guard came up to her with a rifle and shot her here in the heart, directly in the heart. If it wasn't because she had on a bulletproof vest, she wouldn't be here. And me in jail and she being shot at, were just two of many other people who have been killed, put in jail, and all of that. So our situation in Latin America, because of the growth of the Sao Paulo Forum, which is the growth of a new form of communism, or I would say neo-communism, is desperate. And I today would like to propose, and I will end here, I would like to propose an alliance. And maybe you can ask yourself, well, how can we make an alliance? You are over there in Latin America, so far away, so different culture. And we are here in Slovenia, in Europe. How to make an alliance? Well, I have this idea that I would like to present to you. I strongly believe that the countries that were dominated by communism until the fall of the Berlin Wall are more conscious about the danger of communism. And Marxist cultural warfare is not so advanced in Eastern Europe as it is in Western Europe. In Spain, in France, in Germany, gender ideology, there's abortion ideology, class struggle ideology is more advanced than in countries like Slovenia. I believe that Slovenia is more a reservoir of the Western values than, example, the United States. The United States is being destroyed from within because of cultural Marxism. I'm not saying political Marxism, cultural Marxism. Americans don't even know what is hitting them because the universities are filled with cultural Marxism in the United States. And I believe also that Latin America, for historical reasons, is also a reservoir for Western values. We in Latin America, we are Western civilization. We descend from Spaniards. We're Spanish. We're Spanish from Latin America. We are Europeans. We're Spanish. We're Catholic. We're Christians. We speak Spanish. We belong to Christian civilizations. We love Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Cervantes, Shakespeare. We are part of Western civilization, and even though we're in Latin America. So I believe we, people from Slovenia and people from Latin America, we have to unite in order to defend our values. I believe this book, the Sao Paulo Forum's Cultural Warfare, now published in Slovenian, it's a basis for that alliance. It's a basis for that alliance. So I hope that you enjoy this book, that you read it, that you buy it. Boris, I hope it's also published in Hungary and Poland. I hope so, because the Sao Paulo Forum is one of the most important threats now in the world because of the relation with Russia and the relation with China. The Sao Paulo Forum is very much related to Russia and China. I would add, just to finish, that the main ally of Vladimir Putin in Latin America is Nicolás Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela. He's the most important ally of Vladimir Putin in Latin America is Nicolás Maduro, the dictatorship of Venezuela. I could speak more, but I believe what I've said is enough to promote a discussion. Thank you very much again, Mr. Janis Jansa. Very much again, Mr. Boris Tomasic. Please do whatever questions you have. Excuse me because I don't speak Slovenian. My English is not very good, but I hope I explain myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Esclusa, for this very interesting and lengthy introduction.